Article 6. In accordance with the law, the Supreme Administration determines the nature and amount to be distributed to the members of the community in each region. Okay. Yeah, so we've already mentioned this, like they get to decide what can be distributed and the amount. Article 7. In accordance with this determination, the departmental administration makes known to the intermediate administration the deficit or surplus of the respective districts. Okay, so they're just saying that they need to be told what is lacking or what kind of products they have too much of. All right, Article 8. As far as possible, the intermediate administrations fill the deficit of one department by the surplus of another. Other deposits and necessary transport, and give an accounting to the Supreme Administration of their needs or their surplus. Okay. All right, more boring things. Article 9. The Supreme Administration meets the needs of regions that are lacking in certain subject. The Supreme Administration meets the needs of regions that are lacking in certain objects, with the overflow of those with too much, or by foreign trade. Article 10. Above all, every year the Supreme Administration deducts and deposits in military stores a tenth of all the community harvests. Okay. Article 11. It ensures that the surplus of the Republic is carefully saved for famine years. All right, so in this section there wasn't anything too interesting. Okay, let's look at a new section dealing with commerce. Article 1. All individual commerce with foreign peoples is forbidden. Any merchandise from this source will be confiscated to the profit of the national community. Violators will be punished. Okay, so as individual people are not allowed to trade with any other country. Okay, so only the state is allowed to decide what can be traded and with whom. All right, so again, your individual freedom is being taken away. You can no longer basically interact with other countries in this way. Article 2. The Republic procures for the national community the objects it lacks by exchanging its surplus in agriculture and manufactured goods for those of foreign peoples. Okay. All right, nothing too interesting there. Article 3. To this effect, appropriate warehouses are established on the land and sea borders. Okay. Article 4. The Supreme Administration trades with foreigners by means of its agents. It deposits the surplus that it wishes to exchange in the warehouses, where it receives from foreigners the agreed upon goods. Article 5. The agents of the Supreme Administration in their commercial warehouses are often changed. The dishonest are severely punished. Okay. So they're just saying that, threatening that, dishonest people will be punished. They won't tolerate any corruption of any kind, which is quite interesting. All right, let's carry on with the section on transport. All right, Article 1. In each commune, there are magistrates charged with the directing of communal goods from one commune to another. Each commune is granted sufficient means of transport by land and sea. Article 3. The members of the national community are in turn called upon to drive and keep guard over the objects transported from one commune to another. Article 4. Every year the intermediate administration commission a certain number of young people taken from all the departments subordinate to them to carry out the most distant transports. Okay. All right, so you will be forced to go on long trips to make transports of, to basically transport a certain amount of goods to another region. All right, so again, you have no say in the matter. Young people will just be basically forced to do this. Right. Article 5, citizens commissioned to handle any transport are maintained in the communes in which they are found. All right, so I presume basically, if they whatever food they need for the trip must be provided by the commune in which they are established. Article 6, the supreme administration transports from one commune to commune those objects by which they fill the deficits of regions in need by the shortest route, under the guard of the lower administration. Okay, all right, so nothing too interesting there. All right, so I do apologize if some of the stuff seems a bit boring to you. I just want to make sure that go through all of this stuff. I do think it's important that we look at have a good look at exactly what they have to have planned for society and how they want to run things. I know some of this stuff might be a bit dry and boring, but all right, let's carry on to another section on contributions. All right, so Article 1. This is a very interesting part. Remember earlier, I talked about how, or they mentioned that how this whole system will be a voluntary thing. You can just voluntarily give up your possessions. You can choose, to be part of the community. Now here they state in Article 1 on contributions, those individuals who do not participate in the national community are the sole taxpayers. Now this is very interesting. So if you choose not to be part of this national community, you don't want to give up your private possessions, then you are forced to be a taxpayer, right? So this is interesting. How can it be voluntary, yet you are being forced to give some of your money to this community, and you won't be getting anything from this community, by the way, right? So let's delve a little bit deeper. Article 2, they owe the contributions established in the proceeding. Somehow they think that these people who are not part of the community, it's their duty to contribute. Article 3, these contributions will be made in kind and deposited in the storehouses of the national community. All right. Article 4. All right. This is a very interesting thing. Article 4 states the sum due from this year's taxpayers is double that of last year. Okay. So this is fascinating. So this, if I understand this correctly, might mean that every year your tax will be doubled, right? So if last year you paid 10% of your income, then this year you need to pay 20%. And nothing stops them from saying, well, next year you have to pay 40%. This might continue each year where your tax will be doubled again and again and again, right? So what kind of voluntary system is that? Who on earth is going to just say like, oh, you know what, I'm just going to pay tax? There is no such thing as voluntary communism. Everything has to do with force, whether you like it or not. All right? Don't be fooled by any person telling you that communism is not force. It is force. It makes use of a state who is ruled by an elite few. Do not fall for this kind of bullshit. Article 5. This total will be broken down by department and levied against taxpayers in a progressive fashion. Okay, so I presume those people who are paying tax, those who are deemed more rich will be paying more tax. Right. Article 6. Non-participants in the community can be required, in case of need, to deposit in the storehouse of the national community an advance on future contributions in the form of their surplus and agricultural or manufactured goods. All right, so this is interesting. So again, this is all voluntary, mate, right? If the Supreme Administration determines, or as they say, like, you need to pay your taxes in advance, right? You have to do so. You have no choice, right? So again, they contradict themselves completely when they say that you can just voluntarily give up your goods, right? Like, so here if you're being there's no difference between giving up your goods voluntary in the system and then just coming and taking it away in any case. It's all done under force, right? There's no voluntary system in the communist ideology. Okay, all right, so we're almost done with this document. All right, so next they talk about debt. All right, so Article 1 on debt states that the national debt is erased for all Frenchmen. Well, isn't that nice? Like, we can just say like the national debt is gone, right? I wish we can do that, like maybe like let's say the American debt. Just say like, it's all gone, It's just erased. We can just state that it's so. Article 2, the Republic will reimburse foreigners for the capital amount of the perpetual pensions it owes them. It sets the rates for this, as well as that of lifetime annuities on a per capita basis. Okay, so basically they'll decide what they'll pay back foreigners. Yeah, I won't hold my breath. Article 3. The debts owed to another Frenchman by any Frenchman who becomes a member of the national community are erased. Okay, so anything that someone owed you is automatically erased and you won't be compensated in any way, shape, or form. Article 4. The Republic assumes responsibility for the debts owed by members of the community to foreigners. Okay, so this just basically talks again about Article 2. Again, highly doubt any debt will be paid back. All right, Article 5. Any fraud in this matter is punished by perpetual slavery. Okay, I'm not quite sure. All right, I'm not sure exactly. I find this kind of funny. Because this whole system seems like slavery in any case. Like, you're not compensated, you're not really being compensated. I mean, you're given like food and housing, but so were slaves, right? So this is like I just find this funny to threaten people with perpetual slavery if they commit fraud, if they're going to be in a slave system in any case. All right, last part of the document, they talk about monies. All right, monies. Okay, so talk about money. All right, Article 1 on money. The Republic no longer issues money. Okay, so we've already established that they abolished money. Article 2, minted matter which falls due to the national community will be employed in purchasing from foreign peoples those objects it needs. Okay, so they'll only create money when they want to buy from other foreign countries. Right. So, yeah, just a word of advice. Make sure that the money that they issue is actually some valuable metal like gold or silver. Be careful if they want to give you some paper money.